Hello, my name is Maria Martínez Chico, and this is my video for the final exam of the subject Resources and ICT of the University of Murcia. But first, with the instruction that I have, I told to ChatGPT to do an activity, and this was the result. In general, I really like it, although I see it a little empty. For example, in activity 2, with those steps alone, I don't think the children know how to use augmented reality. So I will give them a 2 to guide more. But I also like that it always gives an example and encourages group work. The first part of the video is the project. Here, my mission is to develop a teaching project for an imaginary group of primary students incorporating technology. So, let me introduce you some initial detail about my student and the curriculum goals of this project. This student belongs to the last cycle of primary education, so they will have between 10 and 12 years old. They also must have had previous education related to the basic use of some technology so as not to do activities with excessive difficulty. Next, according to the Royal Decree, the educational objectives that the student will achieve with this project are these: develop work habits, effort and individual and team responsibility, develop basic technological skills and begin using them for the learning, developing a critical spirit, use artistic expression and visual or audiovisual proposal, and value hygiene and health, physical education, and accept one's own body and that of the other. Now, being more specific, my project is based on the human body. So, related to this topic, these are the basic knowledge that the student will develop in this project, according to the Royal Decree of Primary Education in the region of Murcia. In areas of primary education natural science, we found basic aspect of the vital function of the human like obtaining energy, the physical, emotional, and social changes that puberty and adolescence aim to accept them possibility, and guidelines that promote adequate emotional and social health, like sleep hygiene, prevention and consequence of drug use, contact with nature, appropriate use of digital devices, or strategy for promoting healthy social relationships. On the other hand, focusing on the technological part of the project, these are the basic skills that the student cover according to the same degree. In the part B, technology and digitalization, we found first, digitalization of the personal learning environment, digital devices and resources according to the needs of the educational context, safe and efficient information sharing strategies on the internet, and a strategy for collecting, storing, and representing data to facilitate its understanding and analysis. Second, design project and computational thinking. Phases of design project, identification of need, design, prototyping, and more. Phases of computational thinking like the decomposition of a task into simple parts. Material tools, object device, and digital resources that are safe for the achievement of the projects. And strategy in situation of uncertainties such as adaptation and change of the strategy when it's necessary. Now yes, let's go to the project activity. The first activity consists of the use of augmented reality. First, a student must download the Merit Explore app to their tablet. This app is very simple and didactic, as it allows children to explore various topics through its 3D screens. Once the student has registered, we find many topics to discover, and we click on Mr. Body. Here are the instructions, and if we click, we find 4 options on the top. In the first, we can see the body, and with the finger we can move it to see different perspectives. Additionally, if we expand with 2 fingers and click on one organ, it will give us more specific information about it. Okay, then to expand this activity, we are going to use the merge cube that can be easily done with this template that I will give to the student. So this is how it will look, and you can also move it to see it in different ways. Here we can see a real example, so I think that this activity can be good to begin to introduce the topic and capture the interest of students. Secondly, to complete the activity, I will divide my students into 8 groups and give them this 8 card to explore on the internet about the organ that they have played. After the research, each group must fill out this form where they must enter the name, the system to which the organ belongs, the place it is located, and the function it performs. These two activities were carried out the first week, and with them we make the students work as a team and make good use of technology, in addition to introducing them to the topic we want to work on. In the second week, a student must do an stop motion about the digestive system, covering the competencies of how the human body works and where it gets energy. In the video, they will first have to put all the organs in their place and then show how the food makes its way through the body and ends a vague spell. To make the stop motion, I will give each group this drawing, and they must cut out and assemble the body. Afterwards, they have to download the stop motion app, and once on site, they will click on New Film. And they only have to take a lot of photos since this type of video are made that way. Also, to add music, I recommend the CapCut app, since it is free and you can also add letters. This will be the complete process, and with this activity, a student creates digital content creatively. In weeks 3 and 4, the student must make a comic and a final Kahoot. With the comic, we are going to cover this last competency, so it will be about promoting adequate emotional and social health. The app that they are going to use is Canva, where they must register. On the main page, you will search for comics, here. And you can choose the template you like the most. Then you have to click on Elements and search for what you want to add to your comic. For example, a draw of a heart. In addition, you can also search for comic speech bubble and add text to it in this option. Now, each group must do a Kahoot of 10 questions about the organs we have worked on and the theme of the comic. To do this, they have to search for the Kahoot app. Once they are registered, they will click on Create One at the top right. Here, you can choose the number of responses and add any photo. This will be an example of the final result. Finally, in week 5, on the first day, each group must present their Kahoot and the other classmate will do it while. To finish, the children will use the Padlet app, where Class Padlet is created, to upload all the activity of this project and thus share and save it in an organized way. They just have to click on the plus and select the file they want to upload. This will be my project, and I think it could be interesting since new apps are introduced for children which generate interest in learning the chosen topic. Using digital tools in primary classroom makes learning more fun and engaging for students. This tool helps children understand and remember lessons better through interactive games and activity. They also make it easier for students to work together and for teachers to communicate with parents. Also, digital tools teach important skills, offer many online resources, and support different learning needs. They provide quick feedback on progress and allow kids to be creative with projects. Overall, digital tools make learning more effective and enjoyable, preparing students for the future. To evaluate the project, I have divided the weeks along with the activities. In week 1, I will evaluate whether the topic has been understood using the effort they fill out and how they have worked as a group. In the second week, where the stop motion was carried out, I will evaluate the creativity and originality of the video, also taking into account whether they have understood the DJ system. For the third and fourth week, I will evaluate the quality of the question in the Kahoots and the structure and way of writing the comic. Finally, in week 5, I will take into account the attention and participation in the presentation of the classmate and if they use the Padlet correctly. According to the Choose Evaluation table regarding privacy, data protection and rights, the Merge Explorer app works well, except for the last section since you cannot save anything you produce. In the Stop Motion Studio and CapCut, everything goes perfectly. Then in Canva, saving content again fails, since there are quite a few options where you have to pay to use them. In the Kahoot app, to register, you must provide some personal information, such as whether you are a student or teacher and what you are going to use it for. And there is also some limitation on saving your content. Finally, in Padlet, everything works correctly. The ICAD framework is divided into 6 parts, with their component cards, and these will be the ones chosen for my projects. In the design of knowledge tags, I will highlight cooperative work, since they are divided into groups and websites due to the importance of the activities. In pedagogy, one of the most important for me will be learning through exercise and practice, since the project focuses on students actively creating and learning. In the design of social interaction, there will be the teacher and the learners, who work in groups or individual and generate ideas for the activities. In spaces and resources, students use technological devices in addition to paper and pencil for the worksheet, and they are also distributed in this way to facilitate collaborative study. The emergent learning activity will be my project, and the last part, the goals, will be the competencies that the students have acquired through said projects. Now let's go to part 2 of the video, the reflective questions. According to the definition of Adela and Castañeda 2010, a PLE is the combination of tools, sources of information, connection, and activity is person used regularly to learn. So for me, personal learning environment, PLE, is like your own personal system for learning. Therefore, it is a mix of all the tools and resources you use to study and learn new things, such as your favorite apps, websites, social networks, and blogs. Instead of relying only on classes or textbooks, you can use your PLE to find information, connect with other people who are learning the same thing, and organize your study in a way that suits you best. We can divide this framework into 3 parts, thus classifying our apps. Knowing this, the 5 critical elements that are permanently in my PLE are Google Drive, to store, share, and collaborate on document presentation and spreadsheets. It is essential to work in a group and keep all my documents organized. YouTube, to access tutorial, lesson, and educational videos on a wide variety of topics. It is an excellent way to complement what I learn in class and delve deeper into areas that interest me. ChatGPT, for quick answers to questions, help with assessment and generating ideas. It is a useful tool to clarify concepts and obtain additional information on topics. Canva, an easy-to-use graphic design tool to create presentation, infographics, and other visual materials for my project and assessment. It is also useful for extracurricular activities that require design. TikTok, to get inspiration and stay up to date with trends. In addition, to provide moments of relax during breaks between studying, TikTok exposes a variety of perspectives and creative, so it can generate fresh ideas for my academic projects and assessment. Organizational communication. Use digital technologies to improve organizational communication with students, parents, and third parties. Here we can reflect the function of the virtual classroom for communication or email. Professional collaboration. Use digital technologies to collaborate with other educators, share and exchange knowledge and experiences. A good example will be the Paddle app, where we share the task completed or the class blogs, to when everyone has access. Reflective practice. Reflect individually and collectively, critically evaluate, and actively develops one's own digital pedagogical practice. We did this through the analyst role, since we had to put the notes and justify them. And finally, digital continuous professional development. Use digital sources and resources for continual professional development. Throughout this course, we have learned a lot of resources that we will continue to use in the future, such as those in tasks 4, 5, and 6. Accessibility and inclusion. Ensure that all students can access digital learning resources and activities, adapting to their diverse abilities and limitations. We verify that all colleagues have the necessary documents to work. Differentiation and personalization. Use digital technologies to personalize learning, allowing students to progress in their own way and according to their individual needs. In these subjects, we work more in groups, but it is true that there were individual and more free parts, such as the roles of the blogs. Actively involve students. Encourage students active and creative engagement with learning through digital technologies, connecting them with the real-world context and practical activity that promote skill and critical thinking. This competence can be seen reflected in resources such as Coding Rocky, since it connects us with the latest technology and encourages our creativity through all the activity that can be done with it. Information and media literacy. Integrate activities and assessment that teach students to identify their information needs, search and evaluate digital sources, and process and analyze information critically. For me, we have been learning this through the entire course, since it has highlighted in many activities the importance of learning to look for what we want in different sources and being sure of what is being said. For example, in task 2, we had to look for information about ACAT and TPAC and convert it into an information map. Digital communication and collaboration. Encourage activities and tasks that require students to use digital technologies effectively and responsibly to communicate, collaborate, and participate. At this point, we can practically include all the activity of the course since we have used technologies in a healthy way for everyone. Creation of digital content. Incorporating assignments that allow students to express themselves digitally and create and modify digital content and learn about copyright and licensing. Regarding copyright, in this video, without going any further, our learning about this is reflected, since we must cite all the information taken from other sources. Responsible use. Ensure the physical, physiological, and social well-being of students in the use of digital technologies, teaching them to manage risks and use technology safely and responsibly. A good example will be the tool evaluation table, where all these aspects of the apps are included and so we can know what type of technology we are using. Digital problem solving. Propose activity and assessment that challenge students to identify and solve technical problems and to creatively apply their technological knowledge in new situations. We have not carried out an activity as such, but during the task problems have arisen that we have resolved together. And we can also comment that we will improve in the role of journalist. To be honest, I consider that I deserve a 7 or 8 because I have made a deep understanding of the content since this course was not about memorizing but about putting into practice what we learn, as well as getting into the task to find the more common information to complete it. Furthermore, I have worked effectively with my colleagues trying my best. And I have learned an extraordinary amount of tools that are now present in many of my jobs and, of course, in my future as a teacher. For me, the most difficult role to play is the start, because normally you have to present the tasks to other people, so apart from overcoming that feeling of fear or shame, you have to find the right words so that the class understands it just like you. Artificial intelligence has been of great help during this exam because without it I practically could not do it because I use it for both, to do the activities and to present them, or to share information that I didn't know. On the other hand, I consider that without human intelligence and their abilities, I wouldn't have been able to finish it, because there are times when technology can fail, and I would also say that more than half of my work is thanks to me, so for me, both together are the perfect combination. So my video ends here. You can see the transcription of it in the comment, and I hope you like a lot. Bye!